Hello everyone, my name is Winters and welcome back to this Let's Play series of Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. We are continuing on almost exactly from where we left off. We currently have two orders in the garage. We had this one here from a previous episode and I picked up this one back here while off camera. Both orders are experience orders and we're going to be working on this one in this episode. We don't have a project in the garage yet, but we will probably do that time permitting when we finish this one. But before we go any further, let's check the phone and see if we have any more experience orders, and if there aren't, we'll dismiss them like so. Okay, so let's take a gander at this bad boy and see what we gotta do. General engine control and repair, and there's a nice bit of stuff there to be discovered. Replace engine oil and filter. Okay. Replace timing related parts. Okay, so there's a bit of stripping to be done there. Strange noises from the engine bay, gears keep slipping, general gearbox control and repair. So that's most likely gearbox, pressure plate, clutch plate, release bearing, and maybe flywheel. Right, let's get it up on the first stage of the lift. We will pop the hood. And we will, what should we do? We should do some diagnostics. So for the sake of thoroughness, and actually now that I realize it, we really didn't need to check the tires because that wasn't included in any of the related problems. Electronics are next, so that means we're going breaking out the old multimeter. I don't expect this to come back with anything, to be honest. Alternator. Okay, right. Okay, so it did return something. Next, we're going to do a compression test. I don't think this will return anything. At least I don't think so. I could be wrong on that, though. We'll see. There is some... Or engine block. Piston with Conrad. Oh my god, we have to strip the entire freaking engine. Has this an OBD port? It doesn't. Okay, so that just leaves a fuel pressure test. And I can see already that the fuel filter needs replacing. Excuse me. Fuel filter, fuel pump is alright. Okay. Let's mark off everything that we have discovered. And let's see if there's anything else. No. Alright. The engine block. We have to replace the entire freaking engine. Ugh. Alright. Alright, first things first, throttle, you're coming off. Fuel rail, you're coming off. Intake manifold, you're coming off. Let's get the head next. And we may as well start working on timing. So that means the belts here are first to come off. We may as well get this water pump off. That has to be replaced, I can see that. Crankshaft pulley, you can come off. Alternator, you can come off. Power steering pump, you're gonna have to come off since I have to get at the engine head, or the engine block, I mean. Idler roller, you're next, and then the timing cover and a belt tensioner, right? That needs to be replaced. Timing belt. Now we can get the cam gear off, and we have these camshaft caps to take off. Actually, I can see one of them needs to be replaced. This next one here we're about to go on to, that is in really bad condition, 16%. Okay, so there you go. Fuel filter, may as well get that now. Ignition wires, ignition coil. And then we'll move on to the exhaust manifold. Okay, now we'll get the spark plugs out. And now we'll get the head off. Okay, let's see, what is next? Starter. We'll move on to the starter. I think that's about it that we can do for now. We need to lift her up. That steering rack doesn't look like it's in great nick, does it? It looks pretty bad. Which means we're probably going to have to take off the tires, so I may as well do that now. Because we're going to have to get at the inner and outer tie rods to get at the steering rack. Next we'll move on to the drive shaft. And now the gearbox. Yep, gearbox needs replacing, release bearing, pressure plate, clutch plate, and flywheel. Because I can see all that already. Okay, oil filter. Now let's drain the oil out of it before I forget. And we'll put that back, and now we'll strip the bottom end of this, and we'll start undoing the pistons. Okay, so we'll start off with this rod cap here. I can see that crankshaft bearing cap needs replacing. This one doesn't look too good either. Average. I love how these things get rusted, and I mean, unless you were running the engine without any oil in the sump, they wouldn't be rusted. They just, that isn't a thing, as well, to the best of my knowledge anyway. Right, now we drop her down, and we'll take out the pistons. Come on, there we go. Alright, now we lift her back up. We'll take out the crankshaft. Crankshaft out. And drop her down, and we'll take out the engine. And then we'll go to the repair station and see what we can recondition. Which should be a good bit of stuff, actually, to be honest. It should be a lot of stuff that we can recondition. And I'm glad to see that the engine block is one of them. Yep, a lot of stuff to recondition here. This is great. Alright, so now we put the engine block back. Oh, and we already have one spare. Excellent. Water pump, right, we need to get a water pump I4, power steering pump we have. What else can I can't do a whole lot else, really. Yeah, no I can't, I need to... Alternator, that was reconditioned, wasn't it? Okay, we need to get the crankshaft in. Now, while that's doing that, I'm going to go into the parts section and I'm going to search for I4, and I'm going to pick up an oil filter, which should be here somewhere. There it is, I4. Power steering pump, we'll pick that up, and now we'll get the crankshaft back in. We will not put in that really expensive one. Let's work on the gearbox. I think I have a flywheel. I do. It was my last one. And I think I have all the other items as well. So we do have a clutch plate. We do have a pressure plate. Do we have a release bearing? I think we do. We do. Alright. Now, do we have a gearbox? We don't have a gearbox. Okay. Let's move on to the steering rack here. And let's see if we can recondition any of that stuff. Steering rack we can indeed recondition. Excellent. So now we can put that back. Ah, I already had one. We'll put in all new inner and out. I wonder, should I? Nah, screw it. We will. It's not gonna break the bank. And actually, since it was right there, I'll just put in the second-hand ones. Be fine. Alright, next now, I want to move on to the oil filter. We'll get that in. And now we'll drop her down, and we'll start rebuilding the engine from the top down. Excuse me. Die quietly, huh? Alright, water oh no, it was a power steering pump I picked up. Damn it, and I didn't need to. Water pump I4. Piston with conrods. Right, let's move on to those. Actually, do you know what I should do here? I should mark off everything that is done and what is yet to be done. Like so. Belt tensioner, strange noises. Steering rack is done. Gears keep slipping, that's all done there. Gearbox isn't done. Alright, okay. So I can see this piston can be replaced with the one that came out of it. And we'll use the same rings. Like so. This is the new one, so I may as well just do that now because that's going to be really easy. And these ones here are all secondhand. Like so. Right, okay, now the engine head can go back on. All nice and reconditioned like. Intake manifold, you can go back on as well. I know we reconditioned that. Fuel rail, you can go on. Throttle, you can go on. Camshaft, you can go back. Exhaust manifold, you can go back. Not the really good one, just the one that came off it. Like so. And now we'll move on to these bearing caps. This one needs to be a new one, so we'll put that one on first. Then we'll move on to these ones here, and the second-hand ones will do. Alright, just two more. Okay, now we can put on the ignition coil. Oh, we need a new ignition coil. Okay, fair enough. We will pick up one of those. Cam gear, I suppose, next. And is the timing belt that came off it alright? It's not, so we'll put on a new one since we have one. Do we have a belt tensioner? We do. Alright, I need a water pump I4. I need to remember that. Crankshaft pulley, you can go back on. Idler roller, the one that came off, it can go back on. Right, we're looking good, we're looking good. Spark plugs next, I think. Second-hand ones can go back in it. This one needs to be a new one. Second-hand one here. And a second-hand one here. Okay. Ignition coil I4 SOHC. SOC, wasn't it? Was what I was calling that, if I remember correctly. So now we'll go into the store. Alright, we're looking for a water pump I4. Water pump I4. There it is there. Do you know what? Let's pick up like 3 of them and then we'll have 2 spare. We're looking for an ignition coil. Intake, ignition distributor, ignition coil. There it is there. Alright. And is there anything else I need to pick up while I'm in here? Oh, a gearbox. And I think this is the one that we need to get. Right, so let's start off with the ignition coil. And now the ignition wires. Ones that came out can go back in it. The water pump is next. Now let's see how we're doing with belts. Alright, that one's fine. And that one's fine. Excellent. Alright, we are looking pretty good up here now. There isn't much else. Alright, we're going to move down to the bottom end. So that means lifting her back up again. And we'll move on to the gearbox first. And now the drive shaft. All nice and reconditioned like. And now we'll move to the bottom end of the engine. So these rod caps should be all reconditioned now. So all brand shiny new. Excellent. And the last one. And now the sump can go back on. Oil filter is already on. That's looking pretty damn good. Right, let's take a look at our list here. We'll mark everything off that we've completed. And we'll get a gander and see what is actually left. Alright, the oil, that's not a problem. Strange noises from engine bay. There's still 2 things to be discovered there. Gearbox, all that's done. Right. So it's from the engine bay, the noises. So we can put her back down again. And I'm thinking air filter. And the air filter cover or bottom or something. That's what I'm thinking is probably the issue. Yep, there's one. Nope. Is this the other one? Yep, there we go. Because I got caught out on that before. And never again. Alright, so air filter comes out. Air filter base. See if we can recondition these. No, just the clips. That's fine. So now I need an air filter base and cover. Air filter base and cover. Air filter base. There we go. Air filter cover. Should be around here somewhere. There it is. Okay, now we'll get those parts back in. The filter that came out can go back. New cover, and of course not forgetting the clips. Alright. Now, oil. Mustn't forget the oil. Should be done any second here now, I'd say. There it is. Right. I think that's everything. So all done there, 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 and all done there. That's it. Job complete. Okay, so let's finish that up. Oh, there's always something. The damn starter. Every frickin' time. Always forget something. Alright. Job complete. Now, how are we doing on time? 20 minutes. We're right on the mark. We're right on the mark. Okay, so let's go to the phone and see, are there any other new orders for us? Any experience orders? Nope. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this bad boy into lifter A, and that way we are prepped and ready to go for our next episode. Right, we're going to wrap it up there for now. Thanks a million for watching, folks. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. Do all that good stuff. It means an awful lot to me, and it makes a huge difference when I get you guys to interact on the videos and on the channel itself. Anyway, my name is Winters, and I'll catch you next time. So until then, take care.